Hi everyone. Well, today I finally got my, I'm just going to pull everything out of it. I got my new, I showed you what I'm storing my stamps in and it wasn't working, so I got a smaller square, but it's wider. So, my Tim Holtz stamps fit in here with no problem. This big stamp fits in here. My Julie Nutting stamps fit in here. And my clear acrylic blocks fit in here. And I've got some bigger bags coming, but they haven't arrived yet. These are the smaller bags. So there's that. So I got that, and it's going to work out superb. I love it. I also got, I think you've seen me use these before in a video quite a long time ago. I use these plastic dividers. They're Avery 16180. That's the number. And I use these for making stencils. And they work amazing. But I got these really cheap because they're only 5.5 by 8.5. But you know, really, a lot of times that's all we need is that size. I'm just going to come out a bit. Yeah, like a lot of times I don't need like an 8.5 by 11 sheet. So these are going to work amazing. And I got 5. There's 5 dividers, different colors. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I'll be making more stencils. That's my plan anyway. But I've been so wrapped up in, I'll put that together later. I've been so wrapped up in doing something I saw Crafty Hodges do, and her name is Joanne, but she's Crafty Hodges on YouTube. She is making these magazines. I had a Juxtapose magazine, and I'll show you what I've done with it. It's actually just folding them in half. I did not cut this down at all because I thought, well, I have so much of my own paper, and I found some paper online. Like I printed this. I made a pocket here. As you can see, there's a pocket. I printed this offline, and then I saw a signature here, and I'm happy to say this was from Cat Hand. It was online, and I hope she doesn't mind that I'm using something that she created in my magazine journal. So I'm going to show you my first page. This is my very first one, the only one I've done so far. It's taken quite a while to get this kind of put together. And then I realized I was using some scrap paper here. I used scrap paper here, and this was paper that Joanne from Crafty Hodges talks about. All of these printouts that you can purchase from Nancy Ballmiller at Crow About Studio B. Anyway, I will try and find the link, and I'll put it in the description below. There are not only all of these, but also papers, which I printed as well. But then I thought, oh my gosh, I've got printed paper and then there's all of my my jelly prints. That is thinner. I'm finding the thinner paper works better. See, this is kind of coming apart here, so I'll have to, I think I'll just put a little bit of washi tape down the side here. Yeah, this was scrapbook paper, and I'm not going to use that anymore. This was the printed paper, but I'm going to maybe reprint these on just your regular copy paper, because this was printed on digital paper, and I don't think there's going to be much of a difference really. So just to give you an idea, the pages are folded in half. Joanne at Crafty Hodges has a video on how to make these anyway. I'm not going to do that here, but on the back page I went and put another pocket in the back here as well. So this is going to be a really fun project. But what I wanted to tell you is that when you get these downloads, like, do you hate fussy cutting as much as I do? I hate it. Absolutely hate it. But with these downloads, you get all the pieces in PNG, which means there's no background on them. So I've taken them, all the PNGs, put them in Photoshop on a 8.5 by 11 sheet of paper. Well, it's not paper until you print it, but I've used an 8.5 by 11 size, just like your copy paper, and I've dropped all the elements in, okay, as I can fit them. But then what I did was add a stroke of a black line around every element, so that now when I save that and I take it into my Silhouette software, I can trace. When you have the Silhouette Studio software, I think you can trace in all of their software, but anyway, I trace what I've created, and then I send it to the printer with the registration marks, and I put it on my mat and it cuts them all out, and I'll show you. So I've got each of these, and Crafty Hodges, see, I was fussy cutting these. Joanne at Crafty Hodges has done this only in Ziploc bags, and I didn't have small Ziploc bags. I had the huge, humongous ones for our meat and whatever, but I have labeled each one of these. As you see, this was cut out on my Silhouette rather than me fussy cutting. I cannot stand the fussy cut. So anyways, I've got all the shapes here, and I've got animals. There's a dog and a bird. However, sometimes when it just depends on, like this one needs to be cleaned up. It's got a little bit of a white edge, but that is nothing to do. Or I could even go over this with a few markers, different colored markers, and it would still be fine. So I would rather that than have to fussy cut. And all these body parts, like faces and eyes, and yeah, I got them all cut on the Silhouette. And the borders, amazing. The borders are amazing. There's so many, and I love them. Arms and legs, all done. Well, and I have to say, they're not perfect by any means. You see the white around that? But that doesn't bother me, I can trim that just a wee bit. I'm not going to fussy cut the whole thing. I noticed that the PNG files are not 100% clean. So, and they, I think that they have a shadow on them or something like that, which makes it difficult for when you trace. You can add your stroke, but when you go to trace these, all the jagged edges and things like that will cut like that. But that I would rather this than fussy cut. That's just me. So, yeah. That's what I've been busy doing, and it's been days of it, and I've got days more. Because I love the idea of this. It's a dry, it's not wet glue. I'm using glue stick. Excuse me. I'm using glue stick and my runner, my tape runner, and that's it. So this is going to be fun. I haven't finished this page yet. I still have, I might come in with my markers and add more things. I'm really not too sure at this point, but I just got the book put together yesterday and got a couple of pages covered and got my pockets made. So, yeah. Anyways, go and check out Joanne at Crafty Hodges. Amazing. Another magazine used up. Joanne at Crafty Hodges and Dee Dee Willingham using magazines. It's just fabulous. I love it all. Anyways, that's what I wanted to show you today. Talk to you later. Bye now.